be able to chop the trees down. So let's see who ends up running into each other.
Yeah, it's not like we're getting ourselves the instant freebie 5v5, but we are at least getting ourselves a little bit of aggression from both of these two teams. Full 5-man movement from Team Falcons. They weren't able to find anybody. They get themselves a nice little ward up on the higher ground here coming in from Crit, so they at least get themselves that bit of deep vision, but PSG Quest will be able to give them the much needed space so they don't lose their lives early on.
Yeah, got so much space. Sorry, so much vision up on that top side. The high ground plus where the ward from Melreen is close to the river, excuse me. It basically perfectly overlaps so that you're not getting any sort of wasted doubled up vision. So nicely done.
Good little start so far. Nobody's lost their lives. Everybody's just come in and said hello to each other. Much like we are saying hello to the morning sun, as you said.
The birds. Hello, magpie.
Niche references again.
All right.
No.
There's going to be a fight. The calling goes down, does a lot of damage. Same with the Illuminate, goes directly in onto Amar. He's taking a whole lot of damage here. Does have the Ink Swell out on him, but without the extra damage coming in from the dead shot, they weren't able to get that free kill. So the calling did a lot of work from Omar. How many bounty runes? So it's another 3 for 1 so far. 2 to Tundra that time around, 1 to Amar himself, and then 1 to Quest. So.
So call it is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. Call it 3 to 1. You say, no thank you. Don't want to play this game out. Too much gold to overcome.
Wonder who they're going to get aggressive onto on this top side. You've already had to put 1 point into the Dragon Blood. Crit is actually in a little bit of danger here on the top side. Yeah.
It's just
He
too
got
strong.
a little greedy there. He just popped a Tango and Kaori made sure to wait for that before he dropped the Sprout, just seeing if he is going to get greedy, not wanting to pop another one of those Tangos just to be able to get away, and that's all you really need as a Nature's Prophet CK lane.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, just that small little opening for the Sprout, and then you can just see TA2000 after those auto attacks just walks in, throws in the Chaos Bolt, and Chaos Bolt level 1 does take a lot of mana, but it does a lot of work.
Oh yeah,
in
for
early
sure.
Stages.
And really, it's only going to be like at level 4, maybe, that Crit puts a point into the Scurry just to make sure that he doesn't necessarily need to go like a 4-staff against the likes of Kaori. He might not even go Scurry anymore now that he's got a Quelling Blade purchased up and just about to come out to him on the courier.
Yeah, it seems a little bit redundant. I mean, the evasion can be nice. 15% evasion is nothing to scoff at, so maybe a value point could be where they tend to go here for this game. But so far, lanes are starting much better this time around here for Quest. It's much more even across the board rather than them getting kind of destroyed in the laning phase. I feel like they've also got a lot more heroes that can have that kind of agency in the game and not be so passive like they had to in kind of game number 2.
I'm a Scurry enjoyer. I just don't think they're going to... There's not as much value up on this top side anymore, especially after already giving up that first blood. I think you need to really put some kill threat there on the board as Kaori even just making the TP towards the mid lane, making sure that they're just keeping the pressure up onto Melreen, not wanting to let him pop off again.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting play from Kaori to be able to go in and take that. And as you said, just making sure that Melreen is not in that free kind of area. They are starting to go towards the top side though. TA2000 gets 2 crits back to back, so it's a lot of regen. Make it 3. And Amar will just have to walk away from that. I thought that maybe that could have been a trade scenario for them, but now with Kaori just wandering around the trees, the auto attacks go in. They do get the pushback as well as the coconut, and that will be enough damage for them to be able to get the kill here. Maybe Kaori gets the trade on the crit. We'll be able to get that one done. Wants to try and get the kill here onto Amar. Does have a Sprout in another couple of seconds as well. He's a little bit too slow to be able to keep up with the Dragon Knight. So Amar will stay alive for now, and he will get the trade in the top lane.
I would have thought Kaori would have been happy enough just to keep bullying Amar out of the lane. But I guess he isn't really securing any last hits anyway by the time he's able to come back, and the wave is very happily pushing close to the Quest Tier 1 tower.
Yeah. I'm just happy with the way that the laning phase is going so far. TA2000 doesn't have the most amazing amount of CS, but he at least is now getting a lot of this extra experience. If you have to try and throw out the Chaos Bolt there onto Amar, we'll quickly chop through that tree. So they're putting a lot of effort on that top lane. So let's go for a little journey towards the bottom side. And we just see Malik just constantly spamming out the Berserker's call. And we do have an issue with the pause. So it seems like there is a bit of lag. Hopefully we get ourselves back into gaming action very soon.
So what have we had? We've had sound issues, we've had packet loss, we've had a PC crash. What else can there be?
The next one will probably be like Smoke Alarm. Smoke Alarm and the old favorite of mine, Player Toilet Break.
Ah, yes, for sure.
That's always my favorite. There's like, it's always funny when there's like a technical issue, and then one of the players goes, "This is a great time for me to go to the bathroom," and then they don't come back in time, and they're like, "We can't go, someone bathroom," you know?
Ugh. Cool.
FG.
F's in the chat, guys.
But yeah, that's my personal favorite is the player bathroom break. How's bottom lane going? 18 for 4 up against the 19 and 4. This is probably how we expected this lane to go, right? There's probably not going to be all too much kill threat until a few more of these levels come out. And speaking of those, get up. He's going to cop the damage. He does have a lot of these one charges to be able to play around with, so he's A-okay.
They end up getting away from it, and they get real aggressive onto Skitter as well at the exact same time, and get a kill. This is really good play coming from Quest, just outplaying them right now.
It was kind of crazy because that was a intentional movement from Snaking towards the top side of the map, but TA2000 and Kaori just turn it back over on him.
And Skitter gets bullied out. He's secured maybe like one last hit in this past like 1 or 2 creep waves. So things have gone real well for them. Omar not quite there to be able to land the dead shot.
Yeah, they don't get that extra bit of kill there on the bottom side of the map, and TA2000 is going to try his best. He's going to try and find his demons here underneath his Tier 1 tower. He's able to get away from Amar, and with Kaori coming back here, he is able to at least scare them away. And as you said, no regen, so he's going to have to fall back to base. Maybe Kaori, I was going to say, maybe if Kaori had teleportation, you could tip him back to base to get him a salve at least.
Crit tried for the random bushwhack into the trees, nearly ended up landing it, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, unfortunately.
I had no idea what that saying was until it took me a few seconds, and then I realized that it's like one of those old school sayings from a long time ago.
Sayings.
Yeah. I was like, Matt said it. It's from the 50s.
Just like my age. Bro, my brother's 40 today, actually.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's actually... Hashtag makes you feel old.
Yeah, he's actually a boomer. I'm going to call him up and say, how's middle age feel?
Oh, snaking, mid lane. He's just dead. Yeah, he's just going to get clicked down by Noob. There was a lot of damage that came in from the Solar Bind and the Illuminate, and then there was just a random little Omar who came in from that Tier 1 tower and hit him with a dead shot for 1 billion damage.
Oh, Noob would love to be able to get a part of this. He's got the urn available, and just a couple of seconds left of that Spirit Form, just trying to land a random Illuminate here. Not going to land onto anyone, though. But you just see how Quest look to try and get aggressive as soon as they get the creep wave outnumber, and there we go. Ooh, it's going to be able to land. Nice deep dive from Kaori as well.
Yeah, that's just a good little bit of vision making there for his Keeper of the Light to be able to get that extra kill there onto Amar. And so they get themselves the big pickup onto the Dragonite. It was a TP in from Malrine as well. So just losing a lot of these resources are Team Falcons. And meanwhile, Malik, he's free farming. He's 43 CS. He is keeping up with Skitter, who's also having a pretty decent time. But, you know, an Axe who gets these early Blink Daggers, gets these early items, is going to be very, very scary. Snaking. Oh, no. He walked in trying to steal the experience rune, and unfortunately for him, Kaori was ready and waiting.
Ah, it was lag, of course.
Oh, yes.
I called it!
I called it. It's alarm time.
It. Oh my god. Have you ever had a cast interrupted by an alarm?
I've had a cast like momentarily interrupted by like what was it, a car crash outside, but I remember hearing it and then I remember hearing it and then like my girlfriend was like it was a car crash outside, so I didn't actually like stop the cast, but I was like I can't remember who I was with. I was casting with somebody, and I just messaged them and was like, "Take over for a bit. I need to figure out what this was." And then I came back after a few moments and was like, "Oh, it's fine." But no,
maybe it was just like an alarm on a phone, because that was pretty quick to be able to to get back for if there was a full-on fire alarm. Yes, I have. It was during CDBC, and there was like the entire building got evacuated because someone burnt their toast and it set off the fire alarm in my apartment.
Oh god, I would have been so mad if I got outside and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just a toaster, by the way." I'd be like, "You guys suck."
Top lane, Amar.
Trouble again. Salt. Oh my god. It still surprises me after all these amount of games that I've casted when I just see someone just get hit by a spell and their just HP just disappears in a moment, right? Like, it is very ridiculous to be able to see. So, I mean, Amar is just absolutely copying it.
I love the fact that Noob's making a lot of these rotations up towards the top side as well, right? I really don't think you're going to stop the Sven from farming too much. And Malik is farming just fine, right? So I think you're happy enough to take the one-for-one trade. Is he going to try and go for a solo kill here? Oh!
That was
so
close.
close.
There was also another fight that was happening in towards this guy side jungle here. We've got Crit as well as Snaking trying to make their way on towards Omar. They do catch out onto the Muerta. She does not have Pierce the Veil. So it won't matter anyways because they take down that Muerta in the mid lane.
He knows they've got vision there at
T1.
least. So we'll be able to get that D-ward off.
Okay. Means they just put more emphasis back onto killing Amar. They've got the Spirit Vessel now as well, and the amount of damage that goes in onto this Dragon Knight doesn't matter if you have 3 levels in the Dragon Blood. They will take you down. They were more than happy to trade that tier 1 tower for a kill onto Amar again.
That feel when Cowrie's got more net worth than Amar at this point of the game is not good. And I do like that they're putting a lot more emphasis on to quickly getting TA2000 into that hand of Midas, right? We've been talking about the big reason behind CK really coming into prominence lately. And this would be a really big kill if they got it.
Oh, Malik, he's getting oh so low. He tries to get off the Berserker's Call for that little bit of extra armor. He does eventually get it off. He's trying to chick around. No, the dunk wasn't there in time. He would have loved to have gotten one of those permanent stacks early on here for Malik, but he goes down and they at least get the trade on the Snaking, but would love to have kept him around or at least gotten one of those nice little stacks for it. Skidder gets
Slightly
away from the Illuminate. There's a lot of damage in the meantime, though.
But yeah, it's like your Coddle and your Axe are the ones that are going to be addressing the Sven in this early-ish game, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense that if Axe is having a fine enough time, you don't necessarily need to make a lot of rotations down there. CK was having a rough time, and he's gone in towards this Midas. He's making decent progress towards it. You just got to make sure he gets to that stage, and then from then on, he's A-okay, right? Like, just leave TA2000 to farm, let him do what he does best.
Malik is in trouble once again. We said that this Axe was going to be such an important part of the mid-game for PSG Quest. Oh, I thought Malrine was just going to get away there. He's able to go into the Rolling Thunder and TP away as well. So a quick little assassination and the TP out as well means that they get themselves a big kill onto the Axe early on in this game.
Even with that rotation through at the 2-minute mark by Cowrie to make sure he claimed that Water Rune, you've still got Malrine sitting at the top of the net worth charts right now. He's 3-0-0. He's already got the Diffusal Blade available. And remember us mentioning how effective that's going to be against these heroes like the CK, against the Axe. It just feels incredibly solid. Especially, Noob's almost got his boots of travel, so he shouldn't be too hindered by the fact that this Diffusal Blade's available.
Yeah, he's going to have them now flying out on the Crow when he does want them, so he's going to also go into the 4 staff to try and keep himself alive in these fights. I think the biggest issue is, as you said, a lot of these other heroes are really going to have some issues with the Diffusal Blade. TA2000, they found him out. He does have the Phantasm, but he's not able to get it off because they've got the Phantom's Embrace here. The Ren will be able to go down, doesn't get it off, will not even save him if he does. TA2000 goes down, and Team Falcons off the back of their mid laner. They've started to wrangle this game back, and things are starting to get a little bit concerning for Quest.
Don't worry, bro, you bought the Midas, it's fine. Slark cosplay on DK.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
Well, I do remember some of his offlane Slark games where he would just rush a Midas even though that he fed, and then he turned into a very strong hero, so... Mara's preempting the future. Malrine just goes into Kaori. They're expecting that he was going to try and go for the rune, but it looks like he wants to try and get the kill instead. Kaori taking a lot of this damage. They do have the sharpshooter that goes a little bit wide. Malrine, though, will be able to get away from the Phantom, so doesn't even cop the style. Omar is going to try and stand here. Does have the dead shot, does a lot of damage. Can they get the extra kill? Dunk instead. So Malik, with that extra bit of move speed, will walk in towards the Grimstroke. Wants to try and get away from sneaking to pull him deeper in, but he's a ranged hero, so he doesn't move at all. So Malik gets one dunk, doesn't get the second. Gets ever closer to that Blink Dagger as well.
I do like the this game, Malik choosing to go figure instead of the Blade Mail first. Like last time on the Centaur, it makes a lot more sense to be able to go for that that Blade Mail first. Malik, like you were mentioning before, he just missed out on the Culling Blade previously to be able to start that scaling of his own, and I feel like they've got the damage needed, whether it be on Omar, whether it be on Noob, to be able to play off the back of like a blink call into something else.
Yeah, exactly, and I think getting these early Blink Daggers on the axe really just kind of accelerates you towards that kind of scary point on the hero, and now that he's gotten it at, what, 13 minutes with a Vanguard and Phase Boost, you can just start smoking up on cooldown.
Berserker's Call as well.
Exactly, and you can just start running around with your Keeper of the Light and your Mortar. They've got enough damage for you to be able to get these Culling Blade stacks, as you said, and get that scaling happening early on.
Skinner's going to show briefly in that mid lane. I wonder if they're just going to be keeping an eye on him, predicting that he's going to pass back towards the left-hand side. They've got some really nice vision set up by Kaori previously, so they should know exactly where the Sven is. If he's not showing on the left-hand side, he's guaranteed going to be on the right.
And they are just chunking into this creep wave as well. Seems they can try and pull out some of these cores, but it has been a while for some of these heroes not showing on lane, and they did say that the Keeper of the Light was close enough to a creep wave but didn't show himself. So they probably have a sense that there is something afoot.
Yeah, Malik has still just body blocked up the Ancients camp, so they're going to know that that's a thing, that there were people hanging around in that area.
They've got a nice ward here as well, so they're just going to catch that crit. They're just going to go directly on towards the Hoodwink with the dead shot and the Culling Blade. There's enough for them to get the quick kill onto the Squirrel.
Could be a lot worse, for sure.
Yep. They, lost Skidder or even Malrine. That could have been pretty dire stuff, but they've done a good job at least kind of keeping their cores in the right spots to be able to keep that farm going. And Skidder, once again, just proving that he still is a very, very highly skilled carry player. I mean, he is a TI winning carry player, so knows what he's doing when it comes to the Sven.
The happiest person is Amar. We just haven't called his name for the past 5 or so minutes. He's got the Midas. He's like, great. This is exactly what I wanted.
He just wants to sit back and get a lot of these levels and build towards that Blink Dagger of his own. The CK, though, also has been left alone. TA2000 almost has that armlet at the ready, and I think, you could probably just start calling for some of these 5-man rotations, right? You're a CK with armlet and Midas. You're going to do a lot of damage, and couple that with a Sven for the lockdown. Should be able to get yourself some nice early kills.
So I'm really wanting to see like Amar's skill build from here moving on. He's almost level 9. He just hits up onto it now. Where's he going to put that last point? I kind of want to see him put it in the Breathe Fire, just so that you've got 100% uptime on that Breathe Fire debuff, and he does. So level 10, if he goes into the Breathe Fire with damage reduction, this feels to me like Amar, what he feels is the response to a whole lot of that just huge amount of burst damage that a CK is capable of.
Speaking of Amar, does get found out by Kaori. So, haven't really seen much action from either of these two teams once the Axe did pick up the Blink Dagger, but it looks like Falcons are the ones that want to try and go on the aggressive. Gone for a little bit of a smoke up here, seeing if they can try and find TA2000 in his little farming habits. Has been a long-standing resident of the Misty Mines for the entirety of this series and throughout the entirety of today as well.
Big rotations down towards bottom. 3 people coming down here, and it's going to give them a lot of information just to completely back off. They know that they've basically got the entire mid and top areas of the map to be able to farm completely freely. So Quest is going to get more value out of that Midas. They're going to get CK closer and closer towards that level 15, that true timing that he's playing for. Probably going to be able to get into like the Echo Saber and maybe even just like the Reaver towards the heart.
It's going to be a lot of gold once he hits towards that that level 15, and now you can just see Team Falcon seems like they are not all too happy with the game state. They want to try and get a little bit aggressive. They do have Malrine. Oh, Malik, that is not the blink you want to try and get in towards. Does at least get the Berserker's Call, but I don't think they have the HP to survive. And unfortunately for the Axe, he goes down. They want to see if they can try and get the kill key onto Malrine. He does have the shield rune though, and now getting completely signed up is the Soul Bind. They're going to get TO2000 coming towards the backline, absolutely eviscerate onto the Grimstroke. Skidder though has the BKB, wants to try and get this fight going. They're completely carting around the Sven. There's a lot of damage to these illusions, but does he have enough damage to try and stay around? The Echo Saber does the damage to be able to keep the Sven in the spot that they need to get him done. And with the Reality Rift back in, he goes down. Noob doing so much work on this Coddle so far. Malrine goes in with the Swashbuckle, almost gets the damage. They will be able to have it to take down the Pangolier. So Quest, they walk in with TA2000. They say, thank you for Malik for your sacrifice. We will take this goal. We will walk down a lane.
Noob played that one so incredibly well. Like, he gets jumped on by a CK. Sorry, not by a CK, by a Sven with the God Strength, able to kite him away with all of that extra movement speed, gets the heal onto himself with his own Spirit Form, casts 3 different Spirit Vessels in that team fight, just really good kiting and dodging of spells.
Yeah, did a really, really good job at just making sure that that first BKB usage wasn't going to stick him with some kills there for Skidder. And you can see the issues they are starting to run in towards as well, right? Oh, Blink Call does catch out one. They do miss on the dead shot though, but Snaking gets caught out by the calling there. At least we'll have the dunk there for Malik for charge number 3 on the culling armor. It's going to start stacking up really, really well for the DK and the Sven to have some issues a little bit later on into this game to try and kill the Axe.
Almost into the splash attacks for the DK.
They found the Sven. Skidder, he's in the top lane. They know that he doesn't have any of these cooldowns available. They know he doesn't have the God Strength. He will BKB and try and run away, but they will be able to have the vision. There's no blink for him to try and get away.
He's trying to farm.
So he wants to just try and farm as much as he can before he gets dunked into the fountain.
What a carry.
That's, I mean, it's kind of done at that point as well, right? Like, the BKB's wearing out. You're like, might as well try and get myself some extra gold.
Mm-hmm. And all the while, they still end up taking that tier 1 tower, so...
Oh, Malik, he's found another in the bottom side. Omar comes in here with the Atos and the dead shot. That is just 3 beautiful kills back to back to back there for Malik.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. They've just turned it up to 11 after getting that Blade Mail, and now they're going to try their own luck here with the Blink Dagger on Omar. They get the kill onto Noob, so... They answer back in kind here, do Team Falcons, but not without losing a lot of this network lead, Dan.
That's some value, and I mean, I know it's something that Omar has done before on this Dragon Knight, but it just feels so uncharacteristic, this style, right? Going into the Aether Lens, going into the Force Staff, it's very, like, completely support-oriented, and the big issue that I'm seeing is that outside of the Sven, I'm not necessarily seeing the scaling potential for Team Falcons, unless you do get this DK starting to get into, you know, the likes of the BKB, the Aghanim Scepter, the Manta style.
That's what I was thinking as well, right? Like, you know, you do have the ways of dealing with the CK with, like, the talents and the Breathe Fire, right? But you also kind of can deal with him later on as you start to scale. You know, Mjolnir, BKB, AC, all those kind of items in the Aghanim Scepter. They can deal with the CK illusions very, very fast, and he's just going to go in towards, like, Aetherland's Force. Like, I mean, you are just neutering all the damage that you could have potentially had if you just go, like, Treads, BKB, Ags, but seems like he's relying quite heavily on Malrine as well as Skidder to be able to carry him through this game. Is it going to be enough? That's the real question, because, you know, you look towards the side of PSG Quest. TA2000 is just starting to rocket up in the network. He's been involved in so many kills. He's got a BKB, and he's finished off Echo Saber coming very, very shortly. Malik is now at the point where he's almost got his own BKB, and then you just look across at Noob. He's going to have a Lincoln Sphere in, like, what, like, less than 1,000 gold, so...
They got a lot of big timers coming up. I mean, that level 16 now on TA2000, so he's got that that reduction in the damage that the Phantasm Illusions are going to be taking. So while you might be able to reduce their damage output, they're still going to take a whole lot longer to be able to kill. Looks like they want to take Roshan as well, even while it is on the Falcon side of the map. But you can see the smoke is coming in from Radiant's own jungle. This will be a huge clash. It could potentially decide the game.
Yep. There's a lot of good vision. There's this ward here that's got about 30 seconds left up onto the high
Korea's telling
ground.
them everything.
Yeah, Quest, they know exactly what's going on. This is the blink core coming in from Malik. They found out Skidder. Do they have the extra damage? Yes, they do with the Chaos Bolt, and Skidder goes bye-bye. On the background goes the rest of Team Falcons, but they are just going to fall as quickly as they join this fight. A lot of damage goes through. They tear through the supports. So they will just say, see you later, and Amar tried to get the TP away, but unfortunately for the Dragon Knight, he is big, bad, and dead, and another blink call comes in from Malik, and they secure 3 big kills, and they will say thank you once again to Team Falcons for the nice injection of gold.
Just that little bit of an additional movement, right? They probably assume that the scan is going to be in that sort of area. They back up, they claim the high ground, and it's a little bit of luck that Skidder happens to be just a little bit further away from the rest of the team, but still, it results in a big team fight victory coming through for PSG Quest, and again, you just see the damage that CK is able to output in such quick succession.
Yeah, it's just, it feels like almost instantaneous. To be fair, they did kind of give a lot of that damage back as well, with the fact that Malrine was able to just completely eviscerate both the supports, who are extremely squishy in those fights, but you can just see the amount of work that TA2000 does, and Malik and Noob just facilitate a lot of that as well, right? You know, Malik is just kind of being able to blink in, catch everybody, get this BKB piercing lockdown, and then Noob just runs around in the fights, and all he has to do is keep throwing out these spirit vessels, get the spirit, get the solar binds, and just keep throwing out a lot of these illuminates as well. And Quest are in such a strong position right now, where their CK is hitting his timings. He is almost at unkillable status at this point. I think as soon as he gets this Reaver, he is next to unkillable for at least a little while for Team Falcons, and that's where it really starts to get scary, where they've got all of this initiation and this unkillable carry. Malik has found another here. They get the calling, and they will just completely dominate another kill on the crit. Omar gets another stack off the Pierce the Veil spell amp as well. They look to try and get themselves a bit of a rotation here. Malik's going to pop the BKB. TA2000 comes in here with the Haste Rune as well. They want to see if they can try and get themselves out of here. Malik does not get away on top of the Pangolier, but they will claim Snaking, who was trying to TP away in front of the CK. But again, the Haste Rune is so fast for TA2000. It's about to wear out, so they don't catch out onto the Dragon Knight. They have a TP to try and find Amar. They get him. Blink call into the trees there from Malik. They catch out the Dragon Knight. There's no BKB for him, and he gets dunked down, man. And they see you later to Amar.
How quickly did he die? He died in like 2 seconds. That's a freaking Dragon Knight, man.
Kaori, he wants to TP away from Skidder. Doesn't get it away because Critty's there in time, but TA2000 says, hello, how are you going? Malik's going to come in, and they're just going to chop down the Sven as well. Oh no, Team Falcon are fumbling at the seams, and they are getting destroyed in this game number 3.
TA2000, is he going to get destroyed by the Tormentor? Is that the hardest opponent he's come up against at this stage? Doesn't look like it, though.
It was close.
It was close.
But, I mean...
Such a stupid amount of lifesteal, man, on a CK.
Stupid amount, and a stupid amount of damage. I think, like, his level 10 talent is redonkulous. Plus 35% Chaos Strike lifesteal. He has 95% lifesteal on the crits.
Yeah, feels good. And he's got a Reaver now as well.
Balance, guys. Balance. Balance in all things, is what we'll say. But, you can see that like... This game has just snowballed super hard, right? It just got to the point where TA2000 was happy to fight. They went in towards that engagement on the bottom side. Skidder wasn't able to confirm onto Noob. Maybe if he gets that kill onto Noob and gets away from TA2000, we're looking at a completely different game. But the way that the cookie has crumbled, it has just snowballed in favor of Quest. And what's the kind of game plan now for Team Falcons? Is it just try and turtle up and get items?
What items, though, are going to change things around? Like I was saying before, like Amar is still gone, this very pseudo-support core role, and it really doesn't make things easy for them to be able to move on forward. Malrine dodges things out, though.
Yeah, Malik misses on the blink call. Same with TA2000, doesn't get the Chaos Bolt going in onto Skidder, so everybody's popped some ultimates and nobody's done anything with them. So we're just going to have a gentleman's handshake, and we're just going to say, alright, Quest, you get the tier 2 tower in.
And her Rolling Thunder is a really big deal. Honestly, the timing that I thought was probably like 2 team fights ago. Even into the Aegis, when you didn't have the Reaver completed on the Chaos Knight, when you just finished up the Aghanim Scepter on the Pangolier, that really felt like their big strong point for me, for Team Falcons, but they just haven't been able to really make the most of it.
It really has felt like that they were maybe just waiting on a few more of these timings to hit, but just weren't able to get to them. And now it is farming stations for Skidder. You can just see he's in absolute Narnia in the top side of the map on the sphere, and he just wants to try and get towards these next set of items and try and stay away from Quest. Who
They're desperately trying to maybe just find a singular pickoff on someone that tries to come towards here, but they see Crit moving next to that Watcher. Amar has to be very careful. Maybe they're assuming that someone's going to have TP'd out, but if they don't, they'll see this axe.
Kaori is able to get the TP cancellation there onto Amar, so he is stuck here with no way of getting home. They will have the Dragon Tail to at least stop him from getting away, but that will just mean that Amar just spends a little bit of extra time away from his team. And Amar...
Just not enough respect being given over.
Oh, speaking of respect, they're going to see if they can respect Skidder and send him back into spawn, but they won't be able to do that because they just don't have the damage. Double BKB gets popped here, and Malik will continue to punch, and now he gets
He's
the
just
refresh on the
man-fighting him.
Berserkers, and they get the dunk. You could just see the amount of damage, and as soon as they had that Berserker's call, it was all over for Skidder.
I really thought that Skidder would start to do a little bit more of that damage there, right? Like, he had the Mask of Madness popped, he has the Vindicator's axe available. This was an axe without the Berserker's call being popped. I know he's got a Vanguard and a Blade Mail, but he barely got tickled.
He's got 31 armor, man. Like, he has almost 40 armor with the Culling Blade armor. He has 20
True,
armor
actually.
harvested. 20
Yeah,
armor.
that does help.
Like, he's got a lot of armor, so he is a very, very tanky boy. And it has just gotten to the point now where this axe has just been such a pivotal hero for them to be able to play around. Like,
Look at all these units on the bottom side. I mean, yes, Snaking, it's a nice target for Stroke of Fates, but very, very hard to... Oh, nice little use of the Sharpshooter.
Yeah, Malik jumps in, gets down Mr. President to TA2000, who still does have this, or actually doesn't have the Aegis of the Immortal, but does have a Heart of Taras to be able to play around with, and see you later to the Grimstroke. Snaking goes bye-bye. They will try and roll in with a rolling thunder here from Malrine.
Do you try and kill TA?
Will be able to go down. TA2000 is getting extremely low here on the Chaos Knight. Does have the armor to try and toggle around with.
Surely,
maybe a bit of extra
surely.
shield, but with the extra stun, they get the kill onto the Chaos Knight. So it's a lot of gold going their way, and a gem as well. So they will protect their tier 3 tower, will Team Falcon. Then you lose out on Amar, so pretty good hold coming in there from the boys on the Radiant side.
And they even keep Skidder's buyback available. That's another huge thing. I mean, the poor man is 0-5-3, but the fact that you've still got that at your disposal, the fact that you held your nerve, that you trusted the rest of your team to be able to get the Team 5 victory is a pretty damn big deal. All 3 cores going down there, and that's a huge amount of gold going back the way of Falcons. Yeah,
it was an almost 4,000 gold swing that went the way of Falcons, and Malrine finished an Octarine core off the back of that fight. So more swashbuckles, more shield crashes, more ways of disrupting in these fights. So wasn't the cleanest of executions. I thought that they had maybe a few seconds left on the Aegis, but it looks like it got reclaimed before that fight even happened. So they thought they were definitely strong enough to end the game, but weren't. So Quest going to be waiting a little bit longer now to try and jam their heads back at a tier 3 tower. Still a tier 2 for them to claim, so plenty of objectives left on the map.
Kind of feels a little like Malrine against the world, doesn't it? I mean, he's very, very close to being able to pick up the Maelstrom, so that's another damage output potential that he's got. But I mean, you can't put everything onto a Pangolier.
Maybe you can with the Grandmaster tier Pangolier, the level 30. It was level 30 on the Lena as well, so might be time. Will be a big carry performance if Malrine is able to do all this work on the Pangolier to enable Skidder and Amar to come back into this game. So it's got a long road ahead of them. It is a very uphill battle for them to finish this off. Omar gets a full BKB as well, by the way, on this Muerta. So
Sure.
He's a big boy. I would have... I mean, BKB is nice because you have a BKB, right, on support. But, I mean, the inner carry player in me is always just like, just get the Glepnir, bro. Just get the Glepnir. You've got 4 stacks of Pierce the Veil. Just get the Glepnir. Smoke on
He
smoke,
literally
though.
can't die if he pops that ulti, though.
That's true. The Soulbind goes out, so at least for a couple of seconds, and Kaori goes down. So he gets sniped on the sidelines, and Quest, are they really going to fight this? They don't have Phantasm for another 10 seconds.
I think they're just protecting their vision right now. There's a sentry ward down. They don't quite know about it, but they can't give up the huge amount of map control that they've been able to secure up until this point. And honestly, holding on to this high ground is a really big deal. I mean, Roshan is spawning right now, and it's on the bottom side of the map, so any sort of control that you have over this general area is going to be huge.
Especially because now they get the DD rune as well. So that has been pinged out. I think they did see that it potentially was there, that were a little bit off with their ward in the mid lane for Team Falcons. A lot of their vision is topside centric because they haven't really been able to take control of this bottom side just yet. So this is the perfect opportunity for Quest to walk in a Roche. DD rune onto the Chaos Knight's going to be able to pop the Phantasm if he wants to try and fight that way as well. Kaori will keep top pushed out. So another Aegis going the way here of Quest.
Look at this damage, man. This should not be allowed from basically one person.
It feels illegal. Like, it feels so good that it's illegal, you know? They leave the cheese in the pit. Surely you just give that to Malik, because he does seem to have some issues where sometimes he loses his HP bar much quicker than he would like. Has the Octarine core now as well, so I know Suns fan is definitely cheering out there. Ag's Octarine core seems to be the build.
Just cool down. So what does that bring it to? Like 3 seconds? And then you've got a coddle as well with a chakra magic.
Yeah.
With the Ags on the axe.
So it's like, what, duration's 3 seconds, cooldown is 8.3 seconds, so...
But it reduces it by 3 seconds if you get the Ags.
Oh, yes, true. So, yeah, it brings it down to like 5 seconds. So it's basically like a 2-second downtime between calls.
Yep.
That's pretty big.
5-man call, into coddle refresh, into call again, into you are dead.
Yes. Does only have one level in the Battle Hunger, though, so it seems like Malik is not a Battle Hunger enjoyer. Much more about the stats right now. What else we got coming up on the horizon for some of these players? What's Skidder got going forward? Has picked up the Harpoon. Has the Silver Edge as well. So, getting towards the Satanic. Just wants to be a little bit tankier. Amar still going towards this support Dragonite. It has Aetherlens, Force, and Blink.
We're calling it utility.
Okay.
Oh, they
okay
smoke right next to one
Illusion.
of these illusions, yeah.
Well, they're going to know now. We'll see if they at least catch anybody. I don't think they will, so... Quest, they're just going to stick together as a full 5-man squad. They do have Kaori on the bottom side of the map, just doing Nature's Prophet things. Trying to hold out, trying to get this Wisdy rune as well. And TA2000... Is he going to
need to
poke the high
address
ground?
Why not? I guess he doesn't have Phantasm. That's a good reason why not.
Yeah. They are still waiting to see if any other members of Team Falcons will show their faces, or if whether or not they are just going to allow them to take this Tormentor once again. Who gets it? TA2000. Alright. Well, unfortunately for
Another
Crit...
Phantasm unit.
Yeah, I mean, if Crit gets found out by a Chaos Bolt, this Chaos Bolt plus the 1 illusion could potentially just kill him from 100 to 0.
Oh, there's no maybe about it.
He has an E-Blade, so he's okay. It definitely will kill Snaking, though. Almost.
Crit is on point today with a lot of his reactions, we do have to say.
Yeah. Crit has been... definitely had the Zoomer hands. See if it helps out, though, because they are definitely in dire straits for Team Falcon.
He's finally gone the Breathe Fire damage reduction on Amara as well. It took him until, like, level 17, I want to say, for him to put that talent point in, but I really feel like it has the potential to turn the tide of a lot of these fights. Like, you use that onto the CK with all of his illusions, that's so much damage cut out. 60% damage reduction is huge.
Oh, they're looking for Skidder. TA2000. Ooh, doesn't get the vision. He was inside of the Shadow Blade as well, so we're able to catch out the Sven, and this game of cat and mouse has definitely started to lean towards Team Falcons, who've spent a lot of time at this Age of the Immortal really not doing all too much. They did get themselves at least a Tormentor and a whole lot of this farm, but it seems like Team Falcons have done a good enough job to at least alleviate that own pressure. Now put it back towards Quest.
Don't you love Position 1 still having to hold on to a 100 gold item in Quelling Blade just because you're against a Nature's Prophet?
Yep. Feels good, man. I'll always remember that Arteezy game where he had his Quelling Blade for like 40 minutes, and then the game went late enough and he got rid of his Quelling Blade and then he died without buyback. Yep.
Oh no.
So I definitely understand the feels of no matter how late it is, you either need a million 4-stars or you need that goddamn Quelling Blade.
Or a Battle Fury. You
Just
gotta,
need something.
You may as well get some stats out of it.
Yeah.
Or
Well, now-
who knows, if you're Sven, maybe Superman Sven.
Yeah, I mean, Superman Sven could definitely be a way around it. They only have, what, one?
Sprout leashes actually, so probably can't actually.
Yeah, true.
Just
Maybe
hit
if you
up onto
beat
the level
BKBs.
23 Spell Prisms coming out in a row. Oof.
I was going to say tier 4 items are really starting to appear now, so we get to see some special stuff. Skidder has gone in for my favorite item, the Havoc Hammer. I'm so glad that they changed it from pushing away to pulling in. It actually didn't make any
Makes
sense.
so much more sense.
Yeah, it made no sense that it would like knock people. Like, I
What
can
strength
understand,
hero wants people to move away from them, you know?
Yeah, I can understand thematically that it was like you hit the hammer and then it like moved people away, but it's like
Yeah.
you're a strength hero. You want to have people in your face.
I think Dota did away with that as soon as they stopped making Cinderbrew only work on fire-based spells. You know?
You could tell that somebody at Valve really wanted like this thematic reason for all things to be the way they are, and they were like, let's try this fire damage stuff, and everyone's like, what the hell is this?
Why can't I Quelling Blade a Trio Protector?
That would be very true. I think that they should do that as a battle pass game mode is Dota 2 but literal. It's like everything like logically works the way you would think it would. So it's like you could melt a Crystal Maiden because you breathe fire her. She just melts.
Is she physically made of ice? Like,
Well,
what's
I mean,
going on
when
there?
she dies, her animation, she turns into like a snow person and dies.
I guess.
So, I guess.
Dire's bottom tower.
I mean,
go with yes.
I'm not a lore guy, so I don't know. Maybe Slacks can hit us up. I'm gonna shoot him a DM after this and be like, Slacks, can Crystal
Is
Maiden
CM ice?
melt? Can she melt? I need to know. But Ice Frog, I know you're out there. There you go. Game mode.
Game
mode
mode.
idea. But you just have
Who
to
needs
credit me.
Diatide?
Yeah, credit me somewhere. I don't know how you do it, but
Some idiot Australian.
hey, don't be rude to Aries like that, okay?
That's
He's not
true.
that dumb.
Hope he's having a good holiday.
I hope he is too. Anyways, I'm just kind of chilling. Roche is going to be up in 55 seconds. May spawn in 55 seconds. So,
Just having a look at a few of these new items that are coming out. So Amar, not going away from the utility. It's either a Wind Waker or an Aeon Disc coming through next for him. I feel like maybe he can't survive a CK on his own. That's why he feels like he needs the Aeon Disc, right? Like what?
Yeah.
No one really is going to buy a Nullifier, I don't think, on Quest. There's no real need to at this point. Like, there's nothing really that you want to dispel. I guess maybe the E-Blade. There's 4-star for Glimmercare. Maybe it's not too bad, actually. But, I don't know. It just feels to me like Amar needs to do something offensively.
yeah, and yeah, I can see that. They have found out Kaori though, so our first fight in a couple of minutes. Now Amar, he's the one that's setting in this crit wave. Oh, Malik, he got hit by the Breathe Fire, so he doesn't get the blink away, but it doesn't matter because TA2000 just walks in and eviscerates the Dragon Knight. He has his own shield rune, so he's basically got 10,000 HP at this point. They want to keep walking forward. They want to try and get some of these kills as well. Malrine comes in the sideline. Beautiful rolling thunder. Catches out the axe. He has to BKB to walk away.
He's got the
from this.
cheese.
He does have the cheese as well to try and be able to play around with this. He wants to try and walk it off though. He wants to get away. Gets in from the backpack and he's able to live. Gets back to full HP. TA2000 though He's the one that's starting to get kited around. And speaking of kite, that is Skidder on a ride. And they say, see you later to the carry of Team Falcons. It was a buyback coming in from Amar, but it looks like it will not pan out. Crit just gets into the corner. Do they have to stun? They do. They get the dunk. And that is 3 kills, 4 quests to claim on the bottom side of the map. And they will walk it down a lane and probably claim a lane of racks.
They probably will indeed. If they wanted to, they could even get Roshan free Aghanim's blessing for themselves as well. But you know, whenever you see a Sven that's just picked up a fresh new item like the Satanic, you know that he probably doesn't have that buyback available. So this should be, like you said, at least that 1 lane, probably 2, I would say. They really just don't have the tools to be able to keep them pushed back.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard for them to try and hold on to this these 2 lanes of racks, right? And as you said, even worst case scenario, if there's any buybacks, they just take the lane of racks and they fall back towards Roche. Malreen's going to try his best. He's going to walk in, he's going to buy a little bit of time for his teammates. The reality
nice
comes
blink.
in, or at least pull him back, but now we've got the buyback out of the Grimstroke and continuing to just take these buildings.
Malreen's been really good at just stopping the axe call from getting in onto him. Once again, going to go aggressive. The Breathe Fire damage reduction is there onto the CK, and not all of the illusions though, so they're still doing max damage to all of these T3 towers, to all of these racks, finally ending up landing it onto them, and you just see how much it reduces the damage that the Phantasm units are able to do.
Yeah, they weren't able to just completely clean up this second lane of racks, right? So now we're at a point where Quest, they've been able to take their first lane of racks. They got themselves almost up to a 30k net worth lead, and
this is an all or nothing play. 5-man
Yeah.
smoke coming through here.
I was going to say Desperation Smoke, one of my favorite lines from Dota2 of years gone by is Desperation Smoke time.
What's the buyback status? Just Muerta for right now. Noob's getting close, 400 or so gold away. 1 kill might be enough, and he's actually the one going Nullifier on the Keeper of the Light. Also got a fresh level 25 on the CK as well, so even longer Phantasm coming through. How quickly will Skidder be able to take this? They don't have any vision to understand what's going on. I was about to say he's going to need to choose whether or not to pop the God Strength, but they're closing in fast.
Yeah, they've got their own smoke as well. Amar is on the high ground here, so we will be able to find this out. Malik goes in, Blink into the background, doesn't really get much done. Kaori, though, goes in with the BKB, and now he's soul binded up, so that means the TA2000 isn't able to actually walk in and do the damage that he would like to, but Skidder, he's been found out, he's been reality written, and he's been deleted as well. Amar got eviscerated on the sidelines thanks to Omar as well as Noob, and they are just looking to clean up the remaining members of Team Falcon, and I think this is going to be all she wrote here, Daredog. Crit goes down. The next one on the chopping block is going to be snaking, and it's Omar who just does the damage. It's a triple kill for the support Muerta. And it is only Malreen, the last surviving member of Team Falcons, and they will hunt him, and it doesn't matter. Amar will just drop the Gs. And that is going to be it. Our first team going in towards the grand finals of our MENA close qualifier here for ESL One Kuala Lumpur will be none other than PSG Quest.
Can't really put too much onto Malreen for that one. I mean, he did his job all throughout. 9-3-3 ending up that game, and unfortunately for Skidder and Amar, not a single kill between them. So it's certainly not the way that they were looking to round out this upper bracket final. But again, remember...